Today I'm in a 2017 BMW X3. This vehicle is equipped with Driver's Assistance Plus package, which gives you some of the additional safety features. Things like lane departure, blind spot, pedestrian warning, and frontal collision warning. If you have that package, you will get this intelligent safety button that's mounted right on the dash here below the hazards. And just want to touch on some of the features and some of the indicators here. So the green light here, this is telling me all my safety features are currently on. So visually, just by looking at this green ring, you can tell, okay, all my safety features are on. I'm good to go. If you wanted to turn off something, if you press this button, it gives you direct access to those features and being able to turn them on or off. So I'll give it a press. And you see the list comes up here, and I can uncheck or check boxes that I do or do not want on. Do note that when you press this button, it does turn off or turn on the last specific feature that you were dealing with. So let me show you. So I'll turn off lane departure. And let me go back to the main menu. When I press this button, you'll notice it will turn lane departure back on. If I press it again, it turns lane departure off. So if there's one function or feature on here that you don't like to have on from time to time, you can kind of have direct access to turning it off with just the press of a button here. You can, of course, go through and use the scrolling wheel here, use the controller knob, scroll through, turn certain things off individually that way too. But just FYI, when you do press it, it will turn on or turn off the last feature that you had going. Another thing about this here is you can tell by the light. Right now I turn lane departure off, so this is lit up orange. If this is lit up orange, that means one or more features is off. And if you have everything off, you notice the light completely turns off. So you got a nice little visual indicator just by looking at this light, how it's lit up. You can tell if something's on, something's off, or if everything's off. And of course, if you had everything off, and then you give this button a press, it turns everything on. So just FYI there. And just to go over some of the features kind of briefly, frontal collision warning. So this will give you a visual as well as an audible. So to go over some of the features here, we got the frontal collision warning right up here. Frontal collision warning, that'll give you a visual as well as an audible warning. You get a rear end picture of a car in red that will show up in either your instrument cluster, or if your car is equipped with a head-up display, it will display up there, as well as I said, the audible warning. So you'll get that pedestrian warning, something similar, visual, audible warning, and depending on your equipment, it'll display in the cluster or head-up display. The pedestrian warning, do note that that is low speed, so you have to be moving, I believe it's under 35 miles an hour for the pedestrian warning. Lane departure, so this one here is kind of the opposite of the pedestrian warning as far as you have to be going over 37, I believe it is, on the lane departure. The exact miles per hour for these features will be listed in your owner's manual, so just refer to those. It does slightly change, I believe, over the years by like a couple miles per hour. But lane departure warning, you'll get the up in the cluster, these lane lines here. So when your lane departure is on, you'll have to be driving, like I said, over that speed, which I believe is 37 miles an hour. Once you start driving and the car is recognizing the lane line on either side of the road, you'll get an arrow indicator that will display. A little arrow that'll point to that side of the line, and then an arrow that'll point to that side of the line. Once you get those two lines pointing to the lane, or excuse me, two arrows pointing to the lane lines, that means that the car is registering the lane line on either side of the road. Obviously, if you're only getting one arrow, you're only registering that one lane line. Ideally, you want to get both lane lines registered, and at that point, if you veer outside of the lane on either side, then it would rumble your steering wheel as a reminder, kind of to, hey, pay attention here. If you're only getting the one arrow pointing to one side, then if you veer outside of the lane on that side, it will rumble the steering wheel. But if you don't, or if you veer outside of the lane on the other side, it's not going to do anything. So just note that. The blind spot detection. So active blind spot detection will have these triangles. Let me see here. Right up here on the housing of the side view mirror. Again, once you're going over a certain speed, then you will get the blind spot warnings. If somebody's hanging out in your blind spot, the triangle will light up. If you do turn on your turn signal and try to change lanes, you'll notice that light will start to rapidly flash to, try to remind you, hey, don't go over this way. But do note that it is speed sensitive. So that's one of the things that I see people kind of run into. If they're driving 25, 30 miles an hour on a slower road and somebody's in their blind spot, it's not going to light up on you. So just keep that in mind. But this is the intelligent safety button. If you have any other questions or comments regarding the features, please let me know. I'd be happy to help out.